Yes.
Ideally, I
So,
wanted to be Trump, but
well, that would be the best thing to be today. Today, even Mexico is putting tariff on India, so it's a very good time for people like Trump, actually, I must say. So
true.
you are going to act as a Niti Aayog chairman, so welcome. With you, I think there was one more person, Chetana. She would not be able to join now, it looks like. But when she will come, she will contribute. Namita, which side you are taking? What's your
I
opinion?
had
Namita and
chosen.
Alankrita are CEO. CEO.
That
Yes.
both of them are
Are
CEO. So you
CEO.
are CEO of the data center company, yeah? Leading.
Yes.
Okay, good. So you are going to put that point. Okay, let me go to Tejas. Tejas.
Tejas,
Environment enthusiast.
yeah.
Okay, so you are
Tejas
the
and Ganesh are environmentalist. Yeah.
Yeah.
plus. I think few members from previous batch. I'm waiting for our cohort two or third member. He's, by the way, he's a data scientist himself. He worked for a company called NTT. I hope you guys have heard. So his point of view will be very interesting to hear, and he is completely a carbon enthusiast too. So I'm waiting for him. Ravin, what is his name? Ravindran, I believe. So, okay. So that is, you have that team also very good. What I see is, yeah. So let me go to the previous batch members. Of course, Ganesh, sorry, before we go there, Ganesh, which side you have taken?
Uh, yeah, me and Tejas
Acha, you both
into
are
environment. Yes,
clear,
environment.
very
Yeah,
clear,
yeah,
very
yeah.
clear. Okay, I can see Niti Aayog's chief, two people have selected, Rama and Santosh as well. Ranganathan is that person if he comes in. Anyway, I will call him. Manoj is doing as a youth transitioning into a new company. Okay, so you guys have not voted, so tell which side you are taking, Muthu and Anand. You are not there in the main group, Muthu. You're there, right? In the
Oh,
GHG and GRI specialist group.
not that, sir. I will talk to Sandeep.
Please, please, please ask. You guys are somehow not there. Even Anand, you are also not there, right? In the specialist group.
I think, sir, I'm there. I'm
Okay,
not.
you are there. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I think I'm
Yeah,
there.
Anand is there. Okay. So which side you are taking?
So I was not sure of the format. So, I'm not too sure if it is more of a stakeholder-based
No, you are
selection.
acting as a role. So you are taking a role and you are playing and supporting that guy's point of view. So if there will be question asked
Mm-hmm.
towards I mean, towards that position, you have to defend
Okay,
along with other
okay,
members which are there.
okay. So any side that is left over, I can pick up that.
Okay, so okay, good. So there is one side which is left over, which is looks like employee, a youth who is
Perfect.
transitioning into this segment right now. So he's
Okay,
looking that as an opportunity, and a lot of people are going to, say that this is not a good opportunity, bad opportunity, whatever. So you have to put it through your point. Okay.
okay, okay.
Um, what about Rohit? Rohit, you have to start your camera today. People definitely would love to see you if you can. I know you are always stuck with the family issue. Well, by the way, first of all, which side of the role you are going to take?
Yes, sir. I'm not. मैंने थोड़ा किया अभी थोड़ा रहता है फैमिली में.
हाँ बिल्कुल बिल्कुल तो कौन सा साइड लेंगे which side you want to defend or which side you want to present the case for?
सर
We
मुझे
have
कुछ समझ
policy
अभी
makers.
थोड़ा अभी समझ नहीं आ रहा है मुझे
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा
कि दैट वुड बी द पार्ट ऑफ
ठीक है
पॉलिसी मेकर और
आप कोई भी साइड पिक कर लेना सब साइड से आप अलाउ हो सो यू आर ऑल
श्योर
राउंडर फॉर द बैच यू कैन स्पीक
सर
फ्रॉम
नो
एनी
सर.
साइड you think comfortable with. Okay, so I think we have done that decorum. Let's start then. Without further ado, uh, the topic is very simple. Topic, Abdul Amjad, why don't you do the opening of the topic?
Today's debate is on decarbonization data center. So since our participants are from Niti Aayog, environmentalist and CEO and also employees, so we will start this flow. And anybody can ask, the opponent,
I think we should
they
keep
can debate. Yeah.
we should go from the everybody's point of view. So what do you think
Yes,
about it
yes,
as a Niti Aayog? So let's
yes,
give a
yes,
chance to Niti Aayog team. Go
yes,
ahead, please.
yes, yes. So for
Okay.
Rama ma'am, please.
Yeah, you can brief if you want. Please go ahead.
Yeah, many people think about, that government policy should be, in the favor of, the company or the society, or no, it should be inclusive growth. So let us listen from Niti Aayog people, what they think about, data center, AI, because people think that normally if we expand data center or AI, the resource consumption will be more in terms of energy, in terms of water. So, what is the Niti Aayog's policy? Also, we are, moving towards the fourth revolution. So let us see, how, our government policy, makes an inclusive growth so that, nobody is left. Over to Rama, madam.
Okay. Just collected a few data points to share with the group. Before we start the discussion, I just wanted to share that. Just let me know if you can see the screen. Okay, can't share screen. Okay, so no problem. We'll just, just
Yeah, just put your
discuss.
point.
Yeah.
Put your point.
So just to give you some background about the kind of energy consumption that data centers are doing as of today. In 1980, the global electricity in terawatts, share was 7,232 terawatts. Of that, the DC consumption was 0.5%, and the percentage of DC consumption was 0.5%, and the DC consumption itself in terms of terawatts was 36 terawatts. So in 2021, when we have full-fledged data centers operating, we have gone from 7,000 to 25,343 terawatts, of which 3% is DC share. That 3% accounts to 760 terawatts. And in 2025, the latest data is 28,000 terawatts of electricity is being consumed. And of the DC share is 3.5%. You see, in 1 year, we have gone from in 3 years, we've gone from 3 to 3.5%. And that accounts to 980 terawatts of electricity. So for us, it's important that the projections, for 2030, one of the things that we should keep in mind, as people who are setting up data centers and running data centers, we should keep in mind that India has a target of 2030 projection, telling that it could reach a 6% of the total demand in terms of the DC consumption. Okay. The market value of this. There are various things that can, drive this. It could be AI, cloud computing, IT outsourcing, etc. All of that put together in data centers could drive this. And the opportunity for us is greening the data centers and reducing emission by 88% versus as what it is today. The market value of climate tech, which is across the world, if you take the climate tech funding, is more than $100 billion in 2023 itself. So just to give you an idea of how much funding is.
No, our question is, ma'am, data centers are projected to consume massive amount of electricity.
Yes.
And India has aggressive renewable energy targets. So our question is that can our grid handle the load of this AI revolution without falling back on coal?
No.
And how we are
There is,
going to achieve this
that is the
decarbonization?
6%.
And do you have any
target,
policy
right?
for this data
Yeah,
center?
do you
Government
support
has
or are you
drafted any
against it?
policy.
Just a
Yes.
minute. Do you support or you are against it? First of all,
No,
do you
we
want
support green
AI?
data centers and green data center initiatives. It could be underwater, it could be
So are you promoting it as a government of India right now?
yes.
So what are those initiative? If you can talk about that, that will help the audience and they will participate.
Okay, just give me a moment. So one of the key things that India has done is they've set up a CCTS scheme to fund these initiatives. Okay, and they've set up, the Bureau of Energy Efficiency has been given the target to set up the CCTS using IEX and PXIL as their trading platforms, power exchanges as their trading platforms. Okay, and the kind of emissions that they're covering right now is scope 1 to 2, and 3, I think, is voluntary. So we can't include 3 as of now because we are not equipped to measure 3 accurately. And the number of entities that we are projecting in terms of numbers is about 416 data centers that we envision would pop by 2030.
Okay. That's a good start. Wonderful. Lot of statistics, lot of words. What environmental scientists think about it? We want to open that channel now. Go ahead. And if you have a counter argument or you support the argument, where you guys stand today.
Yeah, definitely. So our first and foremost thought for this about this thing is as an environment enthusiast, we cannot neglect the importance of having the data centers in the progressive economy. So our stand is we are not against any development or the any progress into the IT fields or highly carbon image, carbon emission plant like data centers. But our main demand is whatever the development is happening or whatever the activity is being taken under this data center should be environment friendly and it should be a sustainable development. Because the second thing is the world should not see us as a dumb to, uh, this thing, dumb for their data center requirements. And
That's a good point.
yeah.
That's a good point.
So that is because the people over here also deserve the good quality life and the good environment.
So what
So
are the
because
harms
of,
you see having data center? Just now you saw Ramaji is talking about a lot of statistics. So what's the
yeah,
harm you see as environmentalist? It's a good stuff we should have.
yes. So basically, having the site for the data center requires huge land and or even the buildings, and so the land pollution happens over there. And for the land acquisition, we need to cut down the trees or the local environment. So that is one major harm. Again, to run the data center, we need the power, very heavy power. So this power should come from 100% renewable sources. So that would be the effective way to operate the data centers. If it comes from the thermal, then again it will cause pollution at some other place. So that is also a drawback. And second thing would be, when the data centers come, it needs some operations thing as well. So cooling of those data centers. So the systems like submerged cooling should be implemented. But again, for those, the groundwater should not be used. The recycled water should be used and promoted. It should be even in the policy of the Niti Aayog is what we expect.
Okay, good. You have a point there. Let's go to other side of people. Muthu, what do you think? What's your opinion on the subject?
On the part of renewable energy, yes, pretty much it is possible. The solar is picking up. Only thing we need to see the grid system. Today, the challenge is, yes, we can set up solar anywhere now. The impossible of feasibility of grids. Because now the solar companies challenges is they look for the grid, where are the possible stuff, and then they look for the site. And again, the the scope of sunlight. For consideration, solar is highly possible, but there should be a system change adapted from the government on the grid side. And then pretty much the other expanded area like tidal energy has to be increased. We have a lot of tidal energy scope. This area has to be open up, and then a lot of scope for hydroelectric power generation to happen. And then thirdly, for water cooling system, we have a lot of opportunity in sea desalination systems. When government brings the sea desalination system, we can straight away use the seawater. Two advantage. One is you can start using it for drinking, as well as this one you can use for industrialization. So this aspect has to be merged, and we can see the success. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Ganesh. Go ahead.
Sir, actually, I have a different my view on this AI. AI is something like, again, if you go back early 70, 80, 90, okay, AI was not there, but some industrialization was there. Everything was happened for a good reason. Everything put forward for a good reason. And going forward, AI is also the same thing. We are going forward with the good reason. So whatever, as you said, the stuff is good, but this stuff will create something in future again where we'll get stuck. So my view about AI is, yes, it is good, but it is somewhat, it is not tolerable, not digestible, where we have a set of goal.
Why you
We
say
have, because see, if you see, go back, we had a great revolution in the industrialization, logistic, aviation, and then we landed with the this carbon capture, which has become a very urgent and immediate target. Okay, so again, putting AI as a very comfort zone, as a very very nice thing to go forward for a country, commercial, for country development, for country, uh, you know, in the trades. But again, this is going to be again a challenge for the carbon, because if you see this data center, it has a power utilization factor is very less. Whatever power we are putting for the data center, it will create a lot of emissions also. No doubt there are systems in place, solar, there is innovative HVAC systems are there, everything is there, but still the load of data center is huge because it is not going down, it is going up. What I see in the data center design, you have to design it at least minimum 10 times. There are equipment which you have to keep as a redundancy. So everything should be in a standby over design, and that definitely it is creating a high emissions. So again, I see AI is a very good stuff, but there are more challenges that we cannot neglect. And that challenges, it is again coming back to the efficiency. That efficiency as an ideal for the data center should be one, but somewhere now that efficiency, it is getting stuck between two. The power utilization factor in the data center, it is the energy which is IT equipment it is consuming. Okay. Sorry, the total energy which is data center consuming. Suppose it is 100 megawatt divided by the energy which is consumed by the only IT equipment. Okay, so that factor, it is coming exactly 2. Okay, about 2. It means I am driving the car, and the car which should for 1 liter, it should run for 20, that standard 20 or 25 mileage, but it is running only, giving only 10 average. So the standard is 20, but it is giving only 10. So it is stuck here. The power utilization factor, the data centers are stuck into the power utilization factor, which has to be improved rapidly, because data center standards and the equipment, those are already up to the mark. Those are efficient, very minute, cheap, nano, everything is in place. But
so? Do you
the
have any stats to back you up that this is happening?
Yes, sir. Just to add, Ganesh, now this power utilization factor, This global average for 2021 is 1.57. And
Oh,
like
Yes.
Google, even in
so there
Vizag,
are
they
some
are plan.
stats.
Yes,
There are some
There
stats.
yes,
So
are,
Yes.
yes.
actually, I can talk about it because
Yes, yes,
I am
please.
representing the CEO side, so I have to have these stats. So, firstly, when we are talking about data centers, we are talking about responsible scaling. We are not talking about just bringing in the tech without measuring the cost and benefits. I would like to just emphasize that so far, as per IEA, in 2024, the energy consumption by data center was just 1.5% of the energy consumption across the sectors, whereas aviation, etc., had 2.5%. And in terms of benefits, if you see, again, IEA estimates that around 1,400 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions can be avoided by 2035 by optimizing the operations using AI. So, AI is allowing us to solve the problems which were unsolvable. It is allowing us to mitigate risks, which so far we couldn't even predict. It can even help us in climate related activities like biodiversity conservation, identifying any climate disasters, and like preventing catastrophes from happening. So AI has huge potential in terms of the benefits that it can provide us. Now we agree that AI, all these data centers do need electricity and power. And as Abdul ji said, that the power usage effectiveness, which we called as PUE, which basically represents total energy given to the data center divided by what the IT equipments are using. The industry average is 1.57. Google has improved this factor to 1.09. And how we have done is that what we do is it can be done by focusing on operational efficiency. So basically, if you schedule your tasks in a way that at every point of time the load, the supply and the load are balanced. So I can also explain it in little technical terms. In data centers, two kind of activities happen. One is that the AI gets trained on existing data, which is the highest energy consuming activity. And second is when it responds in real time. When I ask a question to ChatGPT, it will respond. This real time activities require very less power as compared to training. Of course, because training is happening on huge amount of data. So when we do scheduling, we try to avoid overheads and we try to balance it. So in peak hours, the AI, the models will not get trained. But when there is a high, again, another thing is that we also employ renewable energy sources. So when those energy sources are available, then the training of the data happens. The percent of the energy is utilized in that activity. But when we are operating on, say, any backup or any thermal related energy source, then we redistribute the load. So there is a huge possibility of bringing in operational efficiency in this case. Therefore, and also if you see through the years, the cost per compute, the basically the energy cost and the water cost per computation is reducing. So even though in total, in terms of volume, the computations will go higher, but energy usage per computation will come down. So these two factors will balance each other. So that's why we are saying we are talking about responsible scaling. We are not saying that we want to just bring in data centers everywhere. We also want to identify the right geographical location, the right sources to power these data centers, and to bring in operational efficiency. So we see that this is a huge opportunity for us to utilize at this point of time.
Wow. And this completely you turn the table. But good, things are warming up. I'm saying two hands has been raised for rebuttal. But before we come to rebuttal, please note your point and wait for 2 minutes. I have to introduce the other people who have yet not spoken. By the way, we have a person who works in energy company and his company works in both side. Coal thermal power plant also they have, and they have solar power plant as well. Santosh Mistriji, I can see you were traveling, but if you can unmute and I believe you want to play which role? Okay. Will you be able to unmute? Okay. I think he wanted to speak from the point. Okay, he will rejoin. So he wants to talk from the policy point of view. Nevertheless, let's go to Anand. Anand has also not spoken. Rohit, yet you have to make up your mind.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm representing employees, but I'll take up the role of a trade union as well,
Oh,
who are
nice.
kind of, the so-called body for employee benefits. So one, I'm worried about the surveillance part of it. When it is 24 cross 7 data centers have to be managed. I'm also worried about my employees being actually, they may have to have different shifts, which may actually change their biological cycle. That may be a problem. Apart from that, what I also feel is, in terms of employees' perspective, a lot of these AI tools are currently being used for employee monitoring, productivity, scoring, privacy violations, oppressive control. I would want to know from the policymakers as to, are there some guardrails that have been built to ensure that the employees are not exploited in this kind of a regime. Uh, Apart from that, I'm also looking at with AI, since it is a efficient model, which we agree, and all of us have to uh, reskill ourselves, upgrade ourselves. We also need to look at people who would be laid off because of these policies. So I'm kind of worried about their future as well. And apart from that, I'm also worried about, as an employee, that these jobs would require remote access. So would the policymakers also ensure that the hybrid working continues to be a part of the regular narrative, or the office going thing, which has suddenly become very, very important? Would that be a thing that the policymakers would be able to address at a central level through the policies only? I also had a few points. If I could, I was not able to understand from the environmentalist side when Tejas talked about land pollution. So I'm not too sure of what he meant. Also, Ganeshji talked about high emission. I also wanted to understand what is it about high emission. I'll stop
Anyway,
here.
they want to rebut, so let them come back. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead. Now it's open flow for everyone. And Alankrita, your point also need to come in. So
Okay,
whenever
sir.
you get
Yes.
up, whenever you get opportunity, you can contribute. Go ahead, Tejas, Muthu, both of
Okay,
you
sir.
had a
Thank you.
point.
Yeah, with this note, I would like to support the statement of CEO, because no chance we have to go with the AI modernization. We cannot come back. So it is very clear. For any interventions or any integrations, we need IoTs today for monitoring. So if you want to be remotely operated, if you want to be have less exposure, you need to have IoTs, so that we need AI and other stuff. So there is no coming back. So to support that, lot of innovations been happening, lot of thought and developments are happening on sustainable building, onto the infrastructure, focusing on circular economy as well as to the heat emissions. Number two, lot of heat resistance materials been devised to contain the heat. For instance, we need to think out of the box. Move the data center close to a mountain area where you have rocks. This is a science actually. Rocks has a capability to absorb particular alpha, beta, gamma frequency, one frequency. So it will retain and it will not emit again. So by doing it, by adapting these kind of non-conventional stuff, really we can reduce the alpha beta heat effects and other stuff. And coming back to the employee control, we need to have proper rotation policies, fatigue management, handling on remote, not very close to the data center. So nowadays, I took some data. The servers have been designed in such a way that it can handle loads. Only thing we need to focus on the recycle of the electronic waste. That will be the challenge we be having it. We need to mitigate it. Lastly, this is this information for a lot of environmentalists. Fortunately, I could see a couple of days back. Nowadays, in my area, people have started keeping cow dung. You know, the cow dung, natural cow dung. If you are using your mobile phone very close to you, you keep one kind of an patched cow dung. It is in a die form. It's in a square shape or rectangular shape. Try to keep your phone on the top of that so that these cow dung has a property to absorb the radiations. So we need to find those kind of alternate stuffs as we expand. So thank you very much.
Just type it in. Type it in. What did you say? Means quite interesting stuff. That what is that Towden? Means I never heard of it.
Cow dung, sir, cow dung.
Acha, cow dung.
Cow
Okay,
dung.
okay, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Cow dung. Okay, good.
It has the ability to absorb radiation.
Okay, okay.
That's
good,
what
good,
it is.
good.
So we need to work on those kind of stuff. This may be one part of sustainability model, but when we think by and large, so even biogas can sustain some load. So we have to work on all these. So
It is obvious. It is obvious that data center team is winning right now.
we have to move forward. Roadmap is set. So we are looking for 2070 for zero neutering from India by Make in India and everything. So path is very clear. There is no way of setting it back. Only thing is sustainability plan and approach.
Wow.
Thank
you. Good job. Okay, Tejas, you wanted to also come in.
Yeah,
It looks
so
like all the pro people are aggressive right now. They think that uh, environmentalist is not doing
Can we
anything.
play pro and against both?
Yeah, yeah. Who
Same
is
person.
stopping you? You can.
I
You
think,
can
sir,
just.
environmentalists are generally the Fufajis and the Jijajis of a marriage.
Now that you are trying to control the debate. Let
yeah.
them come back. Tejas, go ahead.
So yeah, as CEO said, while setting up the data centers, they will definitely look into the demographic or geographic location of the data center. So in this point, if they choose the remote location to set up their data center, then again the infrastructure cost would increase. Also, that remote location environment will get disturbed. Their local environment will get disturbed, and if we so ultimately effective costing of that data center operation or services would increase. So again, it will not be the beneficial. So or if they choose the urban location, which is already well settled city or something, but then in that case, they will add up to the pollution of that particular city or locality. So again, it is not the desirable unless they deploy some methods to curb the emissions, like vertical gardening, I would say, is the one thing uh, to reduce or control the emissions from the that data center. Second point I would like to bring is the data center is ever changing technology, not the data center. Overall, IT industry is ever changing and fast changing technology it has. So the e-waste that the particular data center will generate, it would cause a huge problem. So as I searched on the net, in India in the year 22-23, the e-waste generation was around 1,60,000 metric tons in that particular year. So even if we consider half of the e-waste generation is through the data center, so it comes around 50,000 metric tons, which is very huge. So we need to find the methods to, uh, minimize that e-waste and or to reduce that e-waste coming out of the data center. So that is the one point I would like to highlight here.
Okay, Alankrita.
So I would argue that if we are looking at if is my voice audible?
Yes, it
My
is.
voice clear? Okay. So if we are looking at data centers and the entire debate of AI, we actually cannot look at it with a narrow lens. So, in the beginning, we were talking about innovation, looking at materials which can look at uh, radiation and everything. So, I also think that there are models already in the world. For example, in Finland, that they have established a data center and used the heating that comes out of the data center for heating an entire city. Similarly, we always keep on talking about decentralized models in India. So it will establishing data centers in the remote area will not only provide employment, will provide a modern economy in the remote location and also provide energy access through these data centers. I think we are looking at innovation. It's an opportunity for innovation and it has immense financial opportunities as well. In the case of EV, like we saw for Toyota, there is an entire financial market there and a lot of scope for innovation. Uh, Also, Google has done something similar. They have Google or Microsoft. They have put their when we talk about energy consumption and reducing energy consumption, they have put their data center below ocean to save percentage. So I think there's a lot of scope for innovation, and we cannot look at data centers through a very narrow lens. And if we are talking about accessibility, we cannot gatekeep these technologies from remote areas. Everybody deserves to be where modern society is, and if we are as a globe progressing towards it, we should actually look at ways to make it more accessible for everyone rather than like the Indian government. They already have initiatives, AI for everyone, AI teaching for everyone, training for everyone, for free actually. They have excellent courses in collaboration with corporates like Oracle and also Google. So I think we are looking at opportunities and innovation, and we should not gatekeep the technology.
Okay. By the way, this session is extended to 2 hours. Means up to what time it is going, it will go. We are not having any class today. I'm giving a chance to Santosh Mistry ji. I know he's traveling, so he might not again get a chance to speak. We want to hear your point of view. What do you think? Is it a challenge to power sector, or it's actually boon to power sector? You guys will have a lot of jobs getting created, being energy demand is increasing. Dr. Santosh Mistry. Again, we lost him, yeah? Okay. Okay, who so many hands? Go ahead, Abdullah Majid, your point of view.
My question to the CEO of this company, data center, like, with the infinite growth of data center on a finite planet, what do you think about sustainable development? And my second question is, what about when you are creating any data center, for example, in Vizag, Rajasthan, or any other place? What about the voice for voiceless, means the local community people who are, displaced from that place? How you are going to handle this? And as Mr. Ganesh talked about, e-waste handling. So is there any right to repair or, EPR policy product responsibility?
Uh, Before that, I'm able to unmute. Shall I add, sir? Hello, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, you
please
are
go.
audible, sir.
Yes,
You can
yes.
continue.
Yes,
Thanks,
go ahead.
Vivek,
Yeah,
sir.
go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Vivek, sir, and all our colleagues here presented here. And brainstorming is going on the critical issues of data center. After a long time, I'm joining this and taking this opportunity. Data center, as we said, it is one of the energy guzzler, but it is the need of the today since we are evolving AI and ML, and it requires a use space also and energy intensive also. But I think people are thinking of setting a data center might be in the moon on the moon or might be using the space utilization. And as far as the energy intensity, I think they are self-sufficient. They are establishing the ecosystem to create some solar plus battery energies, BSS, so that they cater their energy needs, I think. Yeah. And I think in the self ecosystem, they will cater up all the waste, etc. I hope this is my this 2 points I have to add, sir. Thanks, thanks.
Yes, go ahead, everyone. There was a question asked.
Yeah, I can answer some of the points. So first, the point that Abdul sir raised, uh, and which was about the all the waste that is generated, the e-waste that is generated. So as Google or Google already has this policy of reuse, repair, and refurbish. So circular economy is something which is really being taken very seriously by all the data center companies, and we already know that these electronics have rarer metals which are which are anyways rare and have high demand in the market also. So the extraction from from all the used equipments, extraction of these metals, so that is already happening in the recycling step. But apart from that, we are also focusing on how do we reuse all the equipments, repair them, and refurbish them. So that is already part of the policy. And the anyways, there are efforts which are happening in the area of circular economy. Second thing I wanted to talk about was about jobs, which I think someone Anand, I think Anandji raised. So like any other new tech that comes in, it never shrinks jobs, it just shifts it. So basically, it will now your job will be AI enabled and AI powered. So what you are able to do will be multiplied manifolds because you are able to harness the power of AI. So the jobs will not vanish, they will just change their form and the skill set requirement. And that is something that we have seen through so many cycles of growth, starting from internet itself. So same cycle will repeat here also. I think another point that Abdul sir raised was about infinite usage of resources. So again, there are even though the requirement of resources, since resources are finite and the requirement might increase, but at the same time efficiency is also increasing. So as I said that efficiency can come in terms of operational efficiency, and it can also come in terms of what do we use to power these data centers. So like Alankrita mentioned that if heat is a byproduct, it can be used to power local communities. And similarly, already using renewable sources, setting up plants at locations where sunlight is abundantly available or where tidal power is abundantly available, which I think Muthu sir already mentioned. So these steps are already in progress. So it will not be infinite requirement of infinite resources, because where the requirement is increasing, at the same time efficiency is also increasing. So that's all I wanted to share.
Muthu sir, you are in mute. You are in mute.
Yes, sir. Sir, adding to it, for the sustainability for the employment, other stuff, we need to move to tier 2 and tier 3, because you asked very rightly. Today, there are a lot of 40 plus women IT personnels after marriage. There are a lot of IT personnel who quit their job and they are into organic farming and other things. So when you are opening up, coming back out of the, if you look for tier 2, tier 3 cities, yes, you have a lot of opportunity for employability also. You will find a lot of skilled resources, or you can train the resources. That's all I have.
But question is where they will be employed in data center. What will they do there in the data center? Cleaning or maintenance? What is the job they will get?
Sir, you will have skilled personals to be trained. You are talking about AI. AI is here to facilitate people and train people. So you hire, train, either face to face or remotely. Devise a mechanism. Today, everything is possible, sir, with technology. So yes, sustainability is very much available in tier 2, tier 3 cities. We can expand.
Okay, I want to go against policymakers against setting up data centers.
So you don't
Rama ma'am,
want
if I
data
could
center in
just,
your city.
give a counter to
You do
the
not
CEO.
want a data center in your city. That's what you are saying. Bangalore is not right place. It
Yeah,
should go to somewhere else. Okay, go ahead. That's your outlook.
not only Bangalore.
Can I just give a counter to Namita for
Yes,
the
yes,
number
yes.
of
Everybody is open
layoffs?
to counter.
Yeah,
Everybody.
yeah.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
just to give you, the numbers, Amazon has cut 14,000 jobs. Microsoft this year has cut 9,000 jobs. Intel has cut 24,000. Salesforce 4,000. Cisco 4,250. Meta 6,600. Oracle, I'm not sure. Broader part, UPS 20,000, Chevron 9,000, Nestle 6,000, and the list goes on. There has been more than 1 million jobs that have been cut because of AI and data center. So, as a trade union, my point is that I understand that if we take it to tier two, tier three cities, it will surely create opportunities for these people. But what happens to the people who are already working in Taiwan and Metropolis? That is something, unless the policymakers take care of it, what we see is, we will have, in terms of, as a society, we would be more we would be witnessing more of people with mental issues, depression, loss of jobs would lead to multiple health problems. The society at large will be also witnessing the crimes going up. So, one to the CEO, I would request and urge that while we are looking at the efficiencies of what AI brings in, and moving it to different cities which are still not or are untouched from AI. What is it that they have in plan? Because I don't have Google's data, and assuming that we are just talking about any company here, how do we then take care of these downsizing that are happening because of AI-led uh, processes? And we talked about the efficiencies, and we have also, I think, one very important thing that we have missed out is the welfare of the overall stakeholders, not just the employees but even for the communities. It has still not been talked. I would now probably look at picking up the role of a FUFA, from what Tejas was actually mentioning about environment. It is of critical significance, because electronic waste has actually become a very, very big problem. I understand that we are able to extract rare earth metals, and these are like monetize. You can monetize them, but I have seldom seen people actually doing it in reality. I have not seen many e-waste centers across these companies, whether it is Google, Microsoft, or any other places. I have not seen them in per se. Maybe I am wrong. I have not seen them. So it would be a very interesting bet in terms of how are we solving for the e-waste and the employee dissatisfaction that will come through because of AI-led job losses. And I would want a perspective from the policymakers as well, because this is something that, while we are talking about technology and it is a necessary evil, in my view, it's similar to a industrial revolution. What is more important is how are we managing, the overall stakeholders that are there in this system.
That's what Ganesh ji was talking about. And
Yeah.
of
Ye-
course, Rava
Yes.
also is having a similar view. But one question is there, which I am having. So all these guys who are claiming, including Namita company is claiming that we will invest 15 billion or 30 billion, Microsoft is investing in AI and data center. It will create 25 millions of jobs. Today also somebody Cognizant team said that this will bring a lot of jobs to market as well. So why one side they are cutting, another side they are say claiming that there will be another 25 million people will be recruited by 2047, 30 million to be specific.
I
By
think, sir, there are two
2047.
parts to this narration. One is in terms of high cost employee, which is a strategic HR
So they are
practice.
firing the high cost.
Strategic HR practice that happens across board. That is something that I have seen myself.
And we should
But more
not forget
Those
importantly,
who
the
are not
TCS
able to adapt.
example also. TCS
So they are
example,
cutting
more
the high
important,
cost
they are
employee and they
cutting
are
and they
bringing
are,
they are bringing the
appointing Gen
fresher.
Zs, no, in
because
the
I've
low
actually
cost.
seen it in banking also. I have been at senior positions, and we have seen how when HR has been given a mandate, because HR is actually a cost center for all practical purpose, and to make them to become more of a profit center, they try and bring in these kind of downsizing to ensure that they're able to reduce the cost impact.
So
So
means
these
that
are two
means
things that happen.
Namita has to hire a psychology guy and treat everyone who is getting depressed, but keep cutting out employees.
It is more to do with the social part, and also at a certain level, I think it is about the governance part also, sir. Because what I see is obviously, I'm actually a optimist, and I'm myself a AI,
You are working in that
pro
sector,
guy.
yes.
And
Yes.
my problem is, finding cons on this itself is a very difficult thing, but the employee part is actually a very, very big challenge in my view. That genuinely is something. But I think very fair point what somebody had mentioned about the tier one and tier two, tier three narrative, because India is actually looking at smart cities across India, 100 plus cities. So these cities will get benefited out of. So reason why we should be worried about it. Also, not necessarily that everywhere we'll be cutting trees to actually have data centers. And Abdulji, just one part of what you had mentioned, that we have finite land and infinite requirement
My
of
question was like infinite growth of data center in a finite
yeah.
planet. Don't you think,
Correct.
it is going to affect our even milestone of sustainability development goals?
Yeah,
And
actually, sir,
what about whenever we are, starting a data center at any place, the local community get, the vulnerable people get affected by that. What about their compensation and all? I think
yeah,
Niti Ayog people can,
probably
share
take
more.
it up. Yeah.
Yes.
But just to, the first part of your question where you said, finite land and infinite computing requirement, the tech is actually improving. And what we had earlier in terms of GPUs, uh, the micro, I'm not too sure how we spell that word, but microization of the chips and the GPUs is actually enabling less space, and we are able to generate more power.
No,
Uh,
space.
and
I think space directly we should not relate. He's talking
yeah,
about that you need rare earth to produce such kind of products, right? So
sorry.
that is anyway limited. The minerals which you need to produce
Yeah.
such product is anyway limited. So he's talking about limited planet in that sense. You have to go to Mars and bring it.
Resources. Yeah,
Answer is you have
resources,
to
you're
go to
saying.
Mars. You have to go to Mars. You have to go to others,
Yeah.
asteroid,
I think,
etc. and
there
Mars.
was a fair point by Namita where she said about recycling, and I think circular economy is the in thing right now. Now, most of these corporates are actually working on it.
Ramaji,
No,
what's
but
your view?
Anand,
Yes, sir.
recycling is a very dirty business, I would say, because to get 1 gram of gold or precious metals from that e-waste, you need to, go through many chemical processes.
Correct.
And it is an unorganized sector,
Yeah.
especially
Correct.
e-waste disposal and handling people are doing in the local level, and it is totally an unorganized sector. Maybe 60% people have not registered in the Pollution Control Board
Correct.
or
Absolutely,
Ministry
yes.
of
Fair
Environment.
point. Fair point, Tejas. In fact, I was actually watching a video where I saw how e-waste actually was getting harnessed. The rare earth metals were harnessed, specifically gold and silver. I saw it in one of these kind of documentaries. But that is the reason where I asked that most of these corporations, while they are actually the one who are creating this waste, they are actually not taking that responsibility of getting them back under their fold and treating it rather than leaving it to the unorganized sector. So that is a very fair point. I completely agree with you.
Also, I would like to place another point in a different perspective. So these rare earths currently being controlled majorly by the China. I guess 70% or 80% is from China. So if we go for more and more data center, we will automatically generate the more demand or imports. So it will put some pressure on our, dollar reserves as well. So this is again will impact our economy.
So can I answer to that? Okay.
Now it is open forum. Everybody can jump in.
Yeah,
Just
Yes,
don't
Alan.
can answer,
speak.
I think so.
So
Just
We
for
have
I
to
don't.
will
create a
start.
fish market. It's not working. Like it's being very, very super. I'm not too happy with with the way it is actually playing out.
Okay. So to answer the geopolitical angle, so if we are in India and we are dependent, not only us as Indians, but also the entire mm, world is dependent on China for rare earth materials, as you rightly pointed out. So what is the solution? Should we just stop it and give them a technology advantage, or be competitive and find out solutions, find out ways there to recycle efficiently, fund more research, get more research over there, use our energy and get more innovation into it? And
Yes.
China has definitely more technology advantage over everybody else in the world. Also, they are blessed physically, whatever the mines are there. If we have to collaborate, we should collaborate with nations that are our partners. For example, we have the UK trade agreement, we have the Russian collaboration with us. So we should actually come up with ways to uh, we have more technology, develop more technology, and get a competitive advantage in the world of information warfare. So, how can we, as a rival nation, if we have to point out to China, as we have to refer to China as a rival nation, how can we give the monopoly and technological advantage that comes with it to a country like that, which will not work in the benefit of the
Uh,
world and certainly not
you
for
are
India.
take.
And
What role have you
yes,
taken, Alankrita?
sir, I am a CEO of a company.
Oh, okay,
of
So
the
okay,
companies. He's the
okay,
CEO of
I
the
am
clear,
pro
clear.
company.
data center in AI. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
in
clear.
Namitha's team.
So that's why you wanted to do data center, and okay, clear.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Also, I remember like in our last discussion also we spoke about townships and how these there were these townships which had one factory and there would be a township with so many employment. So I think it's time to revive the tier 1 and tier 2 cities. I myself come from Jharkhand, which has so many townships like that. So if we are to build up, or if we are to call such huge companies to our tier 1 and tier 2 cities, it will kind of revive the economy over there. For example, in construction right now, very few private players are available. I think it will boost the economy over there, create more managerial roles, kind of also stop the migration from such small places, because a lot of people there are talented. And if we have to talk about managing resources in totality, if we can also, get the jobs transferred to smaller places, people can work from their own places. We will be end up, managing resources also in a more efficient way as a country. If we are talking about managing resources, and I think, like my colleague Namita pointed out, there are innovations, and like every technological way, we should talk about how, as a country, India is very well placed in taking the advantage of this wave, because we have largest amount of STEM graduates as well. So, as a country, we have global. We should have. I'm not We should have efficient policies, we should have efficient collaborations for research, and also upskill our upcoming talent. And we have the largest youngest population in the world, so it's about making them more talented. One of our huge comebacks, I mean, sorry, one of our huge drawbacks, sorry for the word comeback, drawbacks as a nation, is that we are not skilled, our labor is not that skilled. So actually, it's about skilling India in a way and giving them those resources and not gatekeeping the technology. I think we cannot also not forget that, for example, something like the national education policy has come up, and AI
can help help the implementation of that policy in a huge way. For example, English is no more a barrier. You can translate the language using AI, and help people get over that barrier, help them learn in their mother tongue. And also, it's not, a language cannot stop you from forging a career anymore. So these are the opportunities as well. And in terms of circular economy, if you're looking at tier 1, tier 2 cities, how about formalizing? I think the policymakers over here will be in a better position to answer this. There are certain initiatives to establish circular economy and formalize certain startups in the climate tech sectors for recyclers. So, how about formalizing them and forging collaborations, even in the tier 2 and tier 3 sectors, um, so that we can also solve the problem of e waste in an efficient manner and use the talent that we already have. So, it can be turned into a win win solution if we take the right steps and work towards the circular economy and create, shift the jobs. Basically, if we have to change the narrative towards that, we have to prep for that. So it can be done in a strategic way, by using the right kind of training, using the right kind of policies, and forging partnerships. And I think as a lot of investment is there in the AI and data center market, we as CEOs of such companies cannot actually um, refuse to get on the bandwagon. And we need to be good collaborators over here, and uh, in order to turn the situation in our favor. So that is something which is our perspective.
No, but along with all the stuff that you mentioned, it is the implementation part of or the benefits of the AI or having the data centers. But what about the cost of the operations of those data centers? The cost cannot be the environment or impact on the environment is what our concern. So if we implement better strategies to curb the emissions coming out of the data centers, then we are always in a favor of having data centers.
I think in this regard, I have seen that this government is actually very, very proactive in terms of defining the scope of services, while whether it is a data center. I'll give you a very, different, divergent example of what government is doing, because your development comes at a cost. So let's say, we are developing roads on our borders. There is a lot of trees that are cut. But as a policy, the government has ensured that all these highways, and the BRO, Border Road Organization, whoever is actually implementing it, on both sides, you have to plant trees. Okay. Obviously, these are like, they will take its own time. Probably they'll take 3, 4 years, 5 years to actually become proper trees. These are at sapling level. But what I would also suggest is that while we are looking at data center in isolation, it is also important that there are currently there are a lot of technologies that are evolving, and the policies are aligned towards that. In fact, at my own incubation center, I have seen somebody who has actually been working. So these are very, very young students who are probably in third year, fourth year. They have come out with something called bleaching as a technique. Okay, a metallurgical scientist, and they have still not completed their degree, but through chemical bleaching and through pyrolysis, they are able to extract the rare earth metals, and that can be monetized. So, my take is that in terms of the current programs, AI for all, AI for women, and there are a lot of other programs that METI is doing, MEITY. What I also could say that there is a lot of focus and push towards innovative solutions. In terms of data centers, in fact, one of my friend is actually working on EVs. Now, one of the key things is the battery. So even the batteries tech from lithium, ISC Bangalore has recently come out with that they have been able to develop something on magnesium ion. Okay. So while we are dependent on lithium right now, probably in a few months or years, in next foreseeable future, we'll have maybe probably magnesium based ion batteries. So my take is that there are a lot of things that are happening in terms of rare earth metals, the e-waste. I'm not too sure. Just for anecdotes, I'm sharing that I've been to a lot of these startup, as a jury, and I've seen that more often than not, there have been people who have come back with this EV waste solutions. My only submission to both the CEOs is that while you're looking at solving this through recycling, probably having a specific vertical managing this entire scheme of things through e-waste would be of very, very significant consequences, and I think a lot of stakeholders will be benefited because of that.
Thank you, Anand. To support the stand of the pro AI onto the energy demand, as Anand was rightly pointing out on
Bro, it is very difficult to be a part of cons here. You know me. Can't do much.
there are a lot of inventions happening on hydrogen fuel stuffs. So these are at emerging point. So these are all our vital gateway for sustainability side. Number two, I don't know exactly does it follow up. There is something called geophysics, geoscience, that can determine the place of data center. Normally, you can find the emission of heat, absorption of heat. It is a geoscientific approach where to find a location where there are some places you will have a lot of mishaps happening continuously. This is because of energy levels. So this is a scientific measure. It has to be adapted. Find a place where you have um, place where it can absorb emissions. It is possible through a science called geoscience, exactly geothermics, something like that. So if you adapt it, you will find a solution for heat effect and emissions. Thank you.
Yeah,
Good point,
after
Muthu.
all, yes, my message to the CEO also this here, Namita, to you also. What we see here that data sensor basically promoting many things because it will promote many services, good services, AI, machine learning, national development, blah blah blah, many things, and it's like a very good cake to eat. Okay, but other side, what data center should ensure as a company that the infrastructure, as what Anand also said, Tejas and many other Muthu also said that infrastructure and that infrastructure is not in place, the right infrastructure, the criteria for the infrastructure and the level of quality of the infrastructure required for the data center. This is what I also understood because what I see now, this data center, once it is go in place fast, the megabyte per person, you can imagine what is the world population and what data center is going to do. When data center is going to do basically the faster, whatever what we see, everything is going to be at the fingertips. So it means the information or the megabyte per person will be in tremendous. So it will like a thunderstorm. Okay, that is why. So mitigation for data center should be rightly in place before it get explode because it is going to explode like anything, and then the emission control become a very high topic in a AI industry. Sorry, data center industry. So this is what my feedback. So there should be a, like Muthu said, emission. The battery also emits hydrogen. Okay, excess hydrogen will create issues in the atmosphere because of it will create vapor. Okay, then heat and then the recycling. Because what happened in now everybody is going for solar panel works only for 20 to 25 years. When it goes for recycle, the inside the material, the silicon chips, it's very hard to recycle. It has it's very bad chemical or very high byproduct for the environment. So those factors are also there. So the right technology considering long term data center benefit should be in place. That is very important. That is very costly right now, because I have been contacted by one or two people, the consultant, and they have been asked to make data center. In the data center, most of the things are building services like thermal walls, effective HVAC, the best firefighting system. In the world, the fire risk in the data center has been calculated like 20%, because in data center heat exchange should be high, very fast. So what happened, there is a lot of oxygen getting into the data center. So when there is a high oxygen, there is a high chances of fire. So the level of fire fighting major, it is always on high. So there are many infrastructure services, high quality requirement is there in the data center, which is now actually not in place because of the cost, because then the cost will be exactly like the IT equipment cost. So this is a challenge in the data centers, and it
20
has
minutes
to
to
be.
go. 20 minutes to go. So everyone put your POV and now solid
So
one
that's
so
all.
that we can have some output from this
So
discussion.
that's all my
Good stuff. Good stuff. A grade building. They say A grade building. No data center can be built without getting certified as A
E
grade.
E
Means
grade building.
access from all side, open, all that stuff. Good stuff there. Okay, go ahead, everyone. Jump in.
Okay. I just want to go in as a policymaker who's against building data centers in India. So if you track the IT boom in India, so for all those people, born in 70s and 80s and 90s, you know what the IT boom has been. So the major IT companies that boomed were companies like Google, Microsoft, Apple. What happened to India? India landed consuming all of that, okay, and maintaining their systems. While we did get jobs, but what are the kind of jobs that you got? You got maintenance jobs, you got upgrading jobs, you got R&D to some level, okay. So that's the story of what happened to India. Come 2000, come 1990, 2000, you had the boom of call centers, tech-enabled call centers, and it ate up an entire generation of Indian people who are left with nothing but the process knowledge of how to run either a bank or an insurance institute or process a claims. Because I'm coming from banking, I'm giving you a banking anecdote. So that is what happened to India. Okay, while all these years we have been having education budgets, we have been spending on educating our youth, we have been, various development activities, but India does not own a core technology company. Infosys is a services company primarily, and so is Wipro, and so is Tata. Okay, now it is actually the tech call center of the Googles and the Microsofts. Okay, to give you a different standpoint on as a policymaker, why would I put my money into this, right? The total budget for, let me give you some numbers. Okay, just give me a moment. The total budget, the defense budget of India is 6.81 lakh crore. Okay, and of the 6.81 lakh crore, to maintain these data centers, to maintain these, various tech-enabled things, the total energy spend that I'm doing in terms of grants, I'm talking grants, not loans, grants, is 70,000 plus crores. Okay, which is 10% of my total budget for saving this country. Okay, and say supposing this is only for the power grant. Okay, like that I have grants on, because the semiconductor industry now will have to move ahead in India. Otherwise, we'll not be the one who will be winning the data center race. So I have to give grants there also. So the grants there is 76,000 crore rupees. Okay, India's grants in 2025 is 76,000 crore rupees. Okay, now I'll give you some numbers. After this, just compare them. So 76,000 plus another 80,000, okay, which is already 1,50,000, etc. Okay, just for my improving my chip industry and for improving my fuel industry. Okay, fuel sector. My total education budget that was sanctioned is 1,28 crores. Okay, which is much lesser than these two things put together. Okay, while I'm spending actually less on my education compared to all this. And I'll give you some other numbers of who is making money from this. Okay, so the total spends from India for Microsoft and Google put together is 3 billion, okay, per year for the last 3 years. Okay, that's about 31,221 crores in advertising. There's about 29,000 crores in revenue. Okay, so that's their total money that they're making by us Indians. What does India get back? India gets back a tax income of 1,000 crores, 1,200 crores, which is less than which is about close to about 1 by 30th, okay, of the money that they're making from India. Okay, now, India 50 years ago was a famous country for its scenic beauty, wonderful, weather, etc. Now you see every single uh, town of this country, it's badly polluted. There's landfill everywhere. The total municipal waste that we are producing, which is related only to IT and IT related products, is 1,70,000 tons per day. Okay, which includes the packing material of all these products, shipping material, all of that put together. That's how much you're producing per day. Okay, and I haven't even calculated what it is per year. Now, just imagine the kind of problem that India is facing in terms of managing this waste. And where are you putting all your money? You're putting all your money into running somebody else's systems, because neither is Gemini or ChatGPT an Indian product. You don't have the IP of that. What is Indian government doing? It's building all its systems based on ChatGPT and Gemini or whatever. Okay, so you're already using their core technology to run your essential systems, which means, say, ChatGPT withdraws, you really have no way to run your own systems if we go into war tomorrow. Okay, so you are putting the country at high risk, you're spending money, you're ruining the life of an entire generation just to maintain a data center that some other country uses for their consumption or the world uses for their consumption. You're ruining your natural resources, you're creating waste from across the world. Okay, you're taking it into your borders. All of this for what? See, India was famous as the land of rishis. Okay, I'm just not touching on. Don't go by the word rishis. It was a land of sages. So what did the sages primarily teach us? Right? They taught us minimalism. Could be any sage. Could be whatever religion he belonged to. They always taught us minimalism. They always taught us to be brave. They always taught us to defend our borders, defend the morality of Indians. Now, is not the Indian society taken over by consumerism? Why do you need this level of e-commerce apps, right? Business was still happening. It wasn't that business was not happening without these apps, right? Or AI-enabled apps, if I may call. So if you can still run your business on a normal e-commerce site that runs without an AI. Only thing is your turnaround time will be lesser, more, and you'd probably be processing the number of goods that you'll be rotating will be lesser as compared to, the rate at which you're doing would probably be lesser, lesser compared to if you had an AI. Okay. But is that not counterproductive for India? You are spending our money, you're spending our people, you're spending our natural resources, you are doing everything in the world. Okay. Every harm that you can do to a country, you're doing just in the name of development. And who is developing? Who is making money out of all of this? Not India, not Indians. Okay, because we are still being given the tier 2, tier 3 jobs, where you are not getting any IP on any core technology. Do you have an Indian version of Chat GPT that's given only to India and say India can do whatever it wants with the Chat GPT? No, you haven't. Okay,
Just
please.
to
Ma'am,
add,
can I?
just to
Mhm.
interrupt here, so Geo is already working on having our own version of AI.
So
We are far
Yes, and
from the truth.
Already,
Okay.
yes, already we have
ma'am,
Zoom.
can we just jump into because there are so many arguments. Just one argument I want to.
Yes.
When we
Integration.
started with defense and the defense budget and all of that, and the idea that India does not have its own, companies, and we will be dependent on somebody else for even for something like our defense, as you pointed out rightly. I think that's more calls more for something of our own, and why the trajectory of growth for IT must have been that in the past. But we could get on the bandwagon and innovate and be better, and develop our own companies. So it can be far from reality, but we already have UPI, which is the world's leading platform for payments right now. And
Yes,
other
yes.
countries are wanting it. So we already have an example. We have a lot of confidence in ourselves in this. I totally do not agree with the with the argument that that's a generation wasted. Definitely, we have not worked on circular economy. We have not used our resources well. We have not worked towards a trajectory to save our natural resources. But I think, like as policymakers, there are a lot of initiatives from your government itself, which are pointing towards making it more better. And imagine not jumping on the bandwagon in the 90s and having no technical skills, and something like AI jumping on you today. So, where are we in the world of defense today? Where are we in the world of, I don't know, if we are an economic power right now, whatever the statistics are, whatever the quality of jobs are, if we want to improve it, will it happen if we do not innovate, or will it happen if we innovate? And we are the land of frugalism, but we are also taught in, I think, I am not very well versed with whatever we are taught in our text, but we're also taught to be to apply and to be relevant with the times and to be as smart as the times demand. I think it's in the Gita, or it's Krishna has said it. So I
Okay.
think it's that time, and it our foreign
Okay.
policy and everything is
Hold
is
on,
is
hold
an
on.
example of that.
Yeah, I think
You
Imagine
I
not
guys
would
didn't
want
let
to,
me end it. So
Rama
my
ma'am, if I
question
could
to
also
everybody who
add to what
wants to put
Alankrita
AI,
was
hold.
mentioning, if I
Uh,
could just counter
no,
with
no,
the
just
data
let
data
me end my
center,
argument and then you guys can continue.
no, no,
Let me
my
end
only thing
my
is whatever you have mentioned now about the data center, I was just doing that research. So the Germany has 529 data centers, United Kingdom has 523, China has 449, Canada has 337, France has 322, while India has about 150. So this basic view of that we are becoming more of a dumping ground appears to be not appropriate, because it appears to be more myopic than anything else. And now you
Okay,
can add to
hold.
whatever
So
you're saying, and then probably, I'll come back to the Rishiwala argument also.
no, just
And
hold on and let me end my argument. Okay,
sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
the number was our target by end of 2030 is to develop 461 data centers. That was the data. Okay, my
Sure.
argument is as Indian government, where I don't see any immediate profit or any immediate benefit for me or my country, where all of us are arguing that if I
Ma'am, data
set
is a
data
new
centers, my
fuel
innovation,
for
hold.
that counter.
So
Data is a new
innovation
fuel.
will go higher. It won't go higher if I set up data centers. Okay. My innovation will go higher if I have a different methodology of educating my kids. That's or the current generation that the current people that are existing. If they want to innovate, they'll have to think differently. They
Can
have to
I
be
come in
educated
now?
differently.
Can I come in now and give
No,
you
no.
some
So
counter?
why should I make this kind of investment into
Yeah,
it?
that is what I'm going to answer, ma'am. If you allow me, I'll answer that. Yeah. So one is in terms of your first argument, it appeared to be very bleak view of the data centers. Data is going to be the new next fuel. It's a new currency. It's earlier it was petrodollars. Most of whatever US saw, the growth, it was fueled by industrialization. India got its independence in 1947. So while you're comparing US versus India, US has 200 years of freedom, and I don't see a reason why we should be comparing their growth trajectory versus what we are doing. Also, US as a policy has been fueling their economy based on wars. Okay, India has never been into that kind of a status. The third is India. I take a lot of pride in terms of what we have been able to do. Uh, you talked about rishis and Sanatan Dharma. Uh, in terms of whatever Vasudev Kutumbakam is something that we have talked about across generations. Okay. Now, in terms of sustainability, I think India as a developing country should actually take what Trump has taken as a stand. I would actually want to walk out of COPP. Okay. Because, in my personal opinion, I think that the entire sustainability narrative is a false premise to actually ensure that whatever is developing continues to be developing, because you are restricting my access through tech and ensuring that I'm not able to use fossil fuel, which is kind of my lifeline. So I would love to do that. However, having said that, in terms of data center, I think I'm very, very happy that India is able to actually get it. In terms of defense versus education, I think government of India has actually increased the budget consecutive years. It is currently at 1 point whatever. Earlier, it was not that. Defense is one of the very important priorities, and I'm sure as a policymaker, you would also appreciate that we are experiencing very hostile neighbors across three fronts. So it is very important and pertinent. Unless we exist, we'll not be able to talk about these data centers and AI. So defense itself is the most critical, and I think what the government is doing is they deserve a pat on back. In terms of we being more of a service centers or people who have been into, not into the forefront of innovation. I think post 2014, we have had Startup India, Stand Up India, women programs, WEP, MITI, Niti Aayog, and whatnot. There is lot of focus across universities. I am not sure if you have been to these places in recent past, but I have been actively engaging with them, and I can give you with certain amount of surety that Indian universities are currently actually working on AI. They are working on ML. We are innovating, and I can give you assurance that India is fueling and it will be fueling the next growth, and not just through tech, but through innovation as well. That much I can give you an assurance. Though
So
I'm
you
a trade
agree that
union,
I
but
should
I
put
had to
my
actually switch
money.
role just to, come back to this discussion. I'm sorry for this.
No, no, that's okay. You agree that largely that, I should be putting my education money in R&D and various other things. As Niti Aayog, I should be doing that. I shouldn't be helping data centers to be set up.
No,
Correct?
I am absolutely in for data centers to be set up in India.
Yeah.
I am equally interested
NITI
in the
Aayog should
R&D,
help
but I am
in
more
setting up
interested
the
in the
data
R&D as
centers.
well as the data,
Yes,
because data is the coin. Ma'am,
and you
petrodollar
should make a
fueled US
policy,
economy. So for
and you
me,
should
data
make
is the
policy.
key. So if I don't have data, I am not going to control the entire world narrative. So for
Yes,
me,
and
India has taken a very good stance that we need to
No, I
have
will
our
only set
data
up
to
what
be in
is
India.
required for me, right? I will only budget what is
so
required for
Niti
me.
Aayog
Rama
should
ma'am,
They should set up a strong
take
policies.
inclusive growth, and they should make
In
policies,
fact,
inclusive
Tejas,
green
led
pata hai,
policy,
right.
green data
in fact,
center.
I was actually, for my own startup, I was, trying to host something, and I had to actually reach out to Microsoft Azure that I want my data to be kept in India. They had not earlier opened it. Okay, so that option was not available. I had made them a specific request that I want my data to be stored here in India, which earlier it was not there. I think 150 is too small a number. UK, which is hardly 1/10 of what India is, has 523 data centers. India right now has 150. So there is a long, long way, and I think it is very important that we have data centers for sure in India. I would
Yes,
be very happy if we
absolutely.
have data centers. There is nothing wrong
No,
in that.
we'll have how much we require only. I don't need to be aggressive and
Rama ma'am, it's like,
set a budget beyond
ma'am,
my
Rama
level.
ma'am, it is
I know.
800 billion people across the globe. We have 150 billion people in India. If you want to ration it, let's ration it in that manner.
And budget allocation is
Data
the concern
center
of
does not.
CEOs, I guess. Ma'am. NITI Aayog just need to make sure that policies are very stringent and in compliant with the environment.
So will
Yeah, so
Namita and
as a policy
Alankrita will
maker, why
spend
would
more
I
budget
spend
on
that much
this?
kind of money, right?
Why would you not, ma'am? Why would
But
you
I
not?
think
No,
My
I will
question is,
spend
why
only
would you
what is
not?
required.
Huh?
I will spend what is required. I will
Where?
not go
so
aggressive
ma'am,
on
the
that.
So
point is they're
150,
already in
150
that.
billion people got demographic data if you're storing. 150 data centers is not sufficient, madam.
And
सर
also all these
150
foreign
मिलियन
companies
पीपल का
will
डेटा
be
इधर है ही नहीं सर. आपके
है ना
सारे
अभी.
डेटा जो है और गूगल माइक्रोसॉफ्ट के पास है.
हाँ,
ओके,
वो डेटा इसीलिए
जो
इसीलिए
आपका
आपकी
डेटा
इसीलिए आपके
है,
डिपार्टमेंट ने इसीलिए
जो
आपके
आधार
डिपार्टमेंट
और
ने
पैन है, वो भी सिंगापुर के पास है.
हाँ,
ओके,
इसीलिए मैम इसीलिए पॉलिसी लेके आए हैं ना कि डेटा इंडिया में स्टोर होगा.
Ma'am, this is
तभी तो खोलना चाहिए और मतलब then only we should open more no so that we can store our own data,
Exactly,
have our own.
exactly.
And
We
ma'am,
don't have
My
just
any
point
one,
is Germany has 529 data centers here. I was surprised. I was
it's
wondering
a
that,
small,
probably
such a small
US would have
country.
the most. Germany is hardly maybe 1/20th of what India is.
What I am
ma'am,
surprised with that environmentalist has no opinion. They want data center in India.
we
That's
Actually,
want
sir,
quite
data
the
center,
surprising
moment,
but
to me.
sir,
not at the
Vivek sir,
cost
the
of
problem is the moment you talk about the nation, no, people will switch side from environment to anything.
भाई
That is probably
nation
one of the
and
reasons why
look,
everybody has moved against that
नेशन से ऊपर
conversation.
सुपर नेशन है. दैट
Uh,
इज वसुधैव कुटुंबकम है, जिसको हमारे सनातन धर्म ने ही दिया है. उससे
right.
ऊपर भी हमारे नेचर है, जो हमारे लिए पांच तत्व है, हम उसको वर्शिप
Correct.
करते हैं, तो सबसे ऊपर वही आना चाहिए. बट यस, नेशनलिज्म वर्सेस दैट डिबेट कैनॉट बी इग्नोर्ड एंड आई टोटली अंडरस्टैंड. बट व्हाट आई एम सरप्राइज दे आर नॉट जंपिंग दिस बैच. The first time we are seeing the the CEOs are winning. Yeah, mostly CEOs are the receiving end. This time CEOs are on the winning end. Of course, policymakers are putting their point, employees are putting,
सर मेरी
union
तो
are putting their
मैं
point.
एज अ ट्रेड यूनियन से मेरी एम्प्लॉय की बस प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व नहीं हुई है, इतनी ले ऑफ कर रहे हैं ये लोग. सो आई एम स्टिल
अच्छा, उसका
कंसिड.
प्रॉब्लम नहीं सॉल्व हुआ.
हाँ,
सो
उसकी
नमिता,
प्रॉब्लम बस सॉल्व नहीं
अलंकृता,
करी है, बाकी तो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो
last
जाएगी.
last 10 minutes establish that it is not going to go against people, the employees, the youth of India, which is tomorrow our dividend. We have to make this demographic to have a dividend from coming from such a young people. So what is your opinion? And here even the policymakers and Abdul Amjad ji, only 10 minutes to go.
Sir, I think Namita, please go ahead. I'll add
okay.
add after you.
Okay, so I have a very small point that if you like look at the, I was just looking at the employee strength graph of Google, Amazon, etc. What I've seen is the consistent trend has been it has increased. So there have been points where there were major layoffs, it dipped, and the consecutive years it increased. What I understand is what it indicates is that when there is a major shift in the tech, the skill sets become obsolete, and that's why the all the layoffs happen. But eventually, the new tech comes in, and the upskilling happens, and they again start. So it's kind of a business cycle. It's not something which is going to remain as it is. So that's why I would say that it's like a just in this point of time there have been layoffs, but at the same time there will be rehiring with the new skill sets. That's all I wanted to add.
Okay,
Sir,
Alankrita, you want to go? Because I have I'm playing both, okay? So the policymaker against data centers and the policymakers for data
I
centers,
just have a request
both.
for the policymakers. In my argument, I'll just make a request to the policymakers. So, for us to function well, actually, so the entire point about employability and the entire point about having managing natural resources and being sustainable, I feel like I would request the policymakers to actually come up with such policies and to incentivize us in terms of tax benefits, funding, startups, so that we can turn the tide along with you. We are willing, the giants willing to, the private sector is willing to invest in and get benefits out of it. We are requesting you to create a system where we can address the employability issue, also address the circular economy issue, work together and not and create an economy where shift can happen, just transition can happen. The entire point about policy making of just transition can happen because India has already done it with renewable energy as well. So I would request that please come up with such policies, and we are there, completely there to support that. Also, um, apart from apart from I mean the current statistics of certain companies which are my colleagues, in sense, I'm not from those companies which have fired so many people. So I would request you to also come up, the new labor laws are a welcome for the mental health and everything, taking care of our population. So I think over here also policymakers have a huge role to play in order to set examples for the companies that set up set up killing, uh, as opposed to firing people. So maybe that is something that we look at together and study the patterns of countries that have been able to have a balance. For example, just now Australia has passed a law that social media should be banned for people below 16 years age. So I think there is a midway, there is an innovative midway. India has a lot of innovation, and we, as policymakers, I would like to request you to please uh, uh, give us that path. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Alankrita, as a policymaker who is talking for data centers, I just want to let you know that we are already drafting something called National Data Center Policy, which proposes to give a 20-year tax holiday for all data center developers who meet specific milestones and targets on energy efficiency, capacity, job creation, contribution, local contributions. So there are targets for all of this, and we are definitely incentivizing it by giving data centers a 20-year tax holiday, which is like probably, very few people have done that in the world. The other thing that there is also something called essential services which are required for these data centers to run. So there is already a body that is being set up to provide regulatory support for all these things. So which is also a great initiative that we have taken as a government, as a policy making body. Also, India has a coastline of about 11,098 kilometers, of which 7,516 kilometers, is a usable coastline. They call it a usable coastline. Okay, so this coastline is available for new and innovative data centers which are operating under the underwater or in what in the coastal line. So you can see Google is trying to build one in Vijayawada or somewhere. They're already at it. And also, we are heavily, as I told earlier, there is 76,000 crores which is going into development of technology, the chip technology. Here there are a few innovative companies like Chitra AI or Samudra Systems, etc., where they're actually inventing how to store data using water-based chips, right? So there is a Ahmedabad-based company which claims to be setting up India's first, water-based microchip, which can store enough data for data center of 10 by 10 capacity in a single chip. Okay, which straight away you can see the amount of space reduction that it brings in. So there are various things that are happening. There's modernization of the semiconductor laboratory in Mohali. There is a chip production manufacturing, support that is being provided in terms of grants that I mentioned earlier. About 65,000 of it. Then there's design link incentive. So if somebody is making a design link incentive as a core deliverable of their startup, there is 1,000 crore grant for all those kind of companies. And then there is an R&D budget of 1,900 crores, which is all subject to, as I said, the draft, the National Data Center, draft, whatever what was it called? Give me a moment. National Data Center Policy 2025. So subject to that. So I think, there is a lot of pro development that has happened, but there is a lot of responsible investment that Indians have to do in terms of time, energy, and scale in order to make sure that our data as a country doesn't rest with somebody else, or we shouldn't reach a place where the core technology is not ours, because all our future wars are going to be information based. So there are very few wars that are going to be like a physical boundary war, that kind of thing. Okay, they're going to be power, water. You can see China is already waging a water war at India. I don't know how many of you have followed it, but yeah, they're already waging a water war at India. So war is going to take a very different shape from now on. So we have to protect that boundary also. So this policy on national data center probably, will put a boundary line or will start a boundary line for that. There is where we are. So I think, from this angle, I think, yes, there is hope and a way forward for us to move ahead and not be left out, as some people said. I wouldn't call it left out. I would say late. So we don't want to be late. Of course, Indians cannot be left out because most of the technology jobs are Indians, whether
Actually,
you like
data
it or not.
center and AI is not a
Tier 2, tier
problem
3,
for
whatever
us.
tier jobs.
We are actually data center and AI is not a big problem for us. Actually, we are in a tricky spot. We want to stop climate change, but we also want to build powerful AI, which needs more energy and water. So we have to take these things in two ways, like short term and long term. Of course, in the short term, we are thinking that it is using massive amount of electricity and water. So AI is hurting our climate goals. But if you see in the long term, if we use the technology in a smart way, maybe by managing through solar and wind grids perfectly, it can help us a lot. And instead of calling AI and data center as a villain, we should treat them as AI and data center as a hero. For these two things, we need, clean power. We have to ensure that data centers run on green energy like solar or wind but not on coal. And we have to do some smart choices like, save the power for problem solving issues. And ultimately, the bottom line is, AI is expensive for the planet right now. But if we use it wisely, it will pay off by helping us, fix the climate in future. So lots of opportunities are there. As we study in, ESG classes also, that if there is risk and opportunity. So we should also look into instead of looking into the low hanging fruits, we should think in a positive way and, look it into as an opportunity to help the planet Earth. So we hope that, this in future, this data center and AI will definitely help us in solving the problems of, planet Earth climate actions, and it will be helpful for us, and it is a necessity, for us right now. Everybody wants data, and and now in this high gadget lifestyle, we are now tech savvy, so we require data centers in order to protect our data privacy also, as Mr. Anand has told, that we need lots of data center. Of course, looking into the geographical area and population of India, definitely we require more data centers and more AI enabled data centers.
Yes, sir. Well said, sir. So to follow the argument, sir, I would put like this, sir. So we have a problem statement. It has to be achieved successfully. To that, we need to have policy frameworks with a sound mind. So we need to have a healthy environment, healthy sound body. So we need to work on mental health with the policymakers to have a strong governance, so that the social welfare to be addressed. The second is health is our next wealth. So we have health and mind power, everything can be achieved. So AI is already there for last decade. Now we are talking about utility of AI, but Techie says that AI is already there for last decade. So now they are talking about advanced AI, something like that. So we are already there. We already suffered the problem. So now India has to have indigenous data centers. We need to adapt good mitigation plans. We need to have second plans. That is, you develop, you get something, you are going to lose something. So when you get, you are going to lose. So plan for the approach to mitigate the losses. Then ultimately, I prefer the funneling will be like this: strong governance, followed by social welfare and good mental health. That is concentrating on health, so that the environment can be protected, sir.
Okay.
I just would say, as a person who took a stand against building data centers aggressively, all I would say is, please be responsible in consumption. Please be responsible in your spends, and please be responsible in reporting. As a community of ESG people, please be responsible over that, because I see a lot of reporting and accounting softwares coming up, and I've seen a lot of them which take shortcuts. So please be responsible around those things. Please be as citizens, be responsible around consumerism and consumption, because AI is a very expensive technology. It's
So you
expensive for
want to
everybody.
focus on scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3.
Okay, good. I think emotions are overflowing. Everybody has a point. Thank you very much. I think quite definitely futurative, impactful discussion, I must say. And what I have understood that today India must embrace data centers. That's what the outcome is, which looks like a winner statement for Namita, Lankrita, all these people who are in favor of it. But only under a strict ESG principle or sustainability thought process. That's what Rama, Abdul Amjad ji, Muthu, etc. is talking about, right? We
Sir, your
support
voice
renewable
is not
power.
audible.
Am
You
I
are not
audible?
audible.
Am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah, I
you.
can
Yeah,
hear.
yeah, yeah.
So what I'm saying is we support renewable power infrastructure that creates jobs, right? That creates jobs while protecting workers, which is Anand was talking about, even though he is an entrepreneur himself, but he is looking after that trade union today. And he has put his points as well very clearly, right? Which ensures India owns the IP, right? Even he fought with Microsoft. What an example that you should bring my data to my country. And that is our right. And once you start doing it, trust me, world changes in our favor. Yeah, and we can start. We might not be, taking tetra, GBs of, or, millions of GBs of data center space from them, but still we have a voice to talk about. So just maintaining foreign system, just copy pasting from foreign institution also is not recommended. Germany can do it different way. We will do it in different way, right? And the recommendation which came out from this group, wonderful, right? We should proceed ahead with our NDC policies, right? National Data Center Policy of 2025, and look into DPDP, which is also there now, Data Protection Law, which Government of India has brought in, and very stringent measures. I love those measures. Few of the lawyers are contesting against it because they have a vested interest for the corporations, but it is required. My data should be mine. I should get paid for it if you are using it, right? So good stuff. The future of India in digital economy has to happen. There is no other way around. We are developing nation with the fastest. Matlab, just imagine we are growing at 6.56% and world is growing at 1 to 2% of GDP, and it takes all the underdeveloped countries as well, these number, the average number. Okay, so we are massively growing and we need a technology like data center, AI at our advantage. So somebody was started with that discussion today, right, Tejas, etc., that we need the speed, but we need to be conscious and responsible too. So the future of India looks worth mention worthy, and we need technology. We need people like Namita, Lankrita, means all those CEOs as well. They should come back to India, invest in India, but make it little responsible too. Okay, and when that responsibility comes with the money, so when you have a power, you have a responsibility too. Data centers aren't a problem, AI is not a problem, poorly planned one are, right? So let's build a smart, green, and equitable society, which will help Anand too. Namita, anyone wants to do another last word for 2 minutes? We'll allow that and we will close the session.
Sir, I think you have concluded it very well. In fact, I just wanted to put forward the question which I had, but since I was wearing hat of a CEO, I couldn't kind of speak it out. And it also pertains to what Abdul sir said, that it's true when AI is like, since AI is coming, and so there will be massive AI generated data itself. So one is the data that humans have generated on which current AI is training, and then there will be massive amount of AI generated data, and that AI will again get trained on human generated data plus AI. So it's kind of it feels like it would expand exponentially. And I don't know how that will be managed, that exponential
Have you
expansion
heard?
of data.
Have you heard
Um,
about China population stop growing? Have you heard about that? Have you
uh,
heard about Have you heard about a theory which says that on Earth only 64
hmm.
million people will survive after 20, 50 years or 100 years? So there are all those future we don't know. You have also heard about
And
that
we have
every.
people like Bill Gates as well, sir. So who have already claimed that the curling has to happen for the people, and then the COVID was unleashed. So
Yeah.
obviously, we have people like them who will ensure
But
that that kind of a thing happens.
I'm not that pessimist, and neither I know the
No, no, I'm
future
not pessimist.
exactly.
I'm just
Uh,
talking about facts. I'm just giving
no, no,
facts
it's
as
a
to what.
fact,
Okay,
and this is a
just
fact.
to tell
Look,
Namita,
it
Namita,
looks
there's
that
a
it looks that there will be growth, exponential growth, which
Hmm.
data will train data. But there is a problem with that data training data.
Hmm.
Earlier, it was
no,
Correct.
hallucination. Now it's a false data, even available on Google.
no,
So forget
Namita,
about
there
any
are
chat GPT. You just search a data, you will get a AI generated data in front of you.
no, 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 no. Hold. So there is a group of people that are putting a boundary to it. Okay,
Yeah, guardrails.
there
AI
is
audit. They are
yeah,
saying that they are
there
putting
is
a guardrail
ethical
for
audits in
everything.
AI, but more so that AI data doesn't train its own self.
But
There
SOC
is an
2,
anti-AI
no, I
system.
have a contest there, Ramaji. Having SOC 2 doesn't stop any hacker to hack into your data, even company taking
No,
your
it
data.
doesn't.
No, that is a fact. Oxford
Correct. That's
Analytica,
what I'm telling you. It's a
yeah,
fact that
is,
you
is
can't
that
stop.
guy with all the guardrail, Meta was cheating you, right? We
Yes,
know
it
that
is.
for a
That's what
fact.
I'm telling you. So the only way you can actually do it is by a techie guy building an anti-AI system, which actually is something that some hackers are trying. Okay, there
Actually,
is
I
a
think,
set of
it is more of a Darwin
ethical
theory, sir.
hackers
Yeah.
who are trying to build that
Yeah,
so
in
that
fact, I would
AI
second
So
what
doesn't
you
take
are
any
telling,
control.
Rama ma'am
look,
is
that is
actually
another
mentioning.
debate, and that is for
I'm
another
saying what
time.
Rama ma'am was saying.
No, she is bringing a debate which is cannot be entertained right now because she is telling we
I'll just
should
add
trust.
one line to
No,
it.
no, we should trust a guy. Look, that debate is very important, but not today. And the reason I'm why I'm not allowing let me complete. That's why I'm not allowing that debate because she is bringing a point that now hackers will tell us what is right and what is wrong, who
No.
themselves are wrong anyway. Yeah,
Ethical, there
ethically
is
See,
or
something
ethical
called
hacking
unethically.
is
ethical
there, sir. I
hacking.
think, you have taken it as on a negative sense. Ethical hackers are there. My
Ah.
only submission was that, similar to what happens in Darwin theory, there will be a peak that will happen, and the system itself will ensure that there are guardrails that are put in place. Similar to what ma'am was talking about ethical hacking, there will be other, startup
That is
ideas that will ensure that the
No,
privacy
Anand, again, you opened
and
a new dimension. That's a new dimension you are opening that there will be somebody who will forcing us to follow certain rule, which we have started breaking right now. If you understand
They'll
what is
teach the
cryptocurrency,
AI what to
just
train
a
on and
minute,
what not to train on.
just
That's the
let me finish.
debate
It's a
again.
good debate, very hard debate, and that's why I want to put my point. Of course, I want to listen your point too, but just a point contradicting to Anand. First, I contradicted that hackers, irrespective of ethical or unethical, there is a very fine line. Even the government knows. Sometimes they allow them and say next day they catch them. Coming back to what Anand is talking, another dimension, and that is that he is telling there will be people who will tell us what to do and they will control it, which we want to come out.
any I
Which we
didn't.
want
I
to
didn't
come
say
out.
that. So
Not
probably I got
people,
it wrong. Maybe,
Okay.
what I mentioned was that, there is a peaking of any
technology.
technology that will happen, and there will be startups and ideas that will ensure this, tech is then under control. I'm not saying anybody is going to actually do that for you. The
Mhm.
technology itself will evolve in a manner that it will then be able to reinvent itself and put guardrails in place to ensure that these hallucination, these unnecessary, inadvertently training of unnecessary data does not
That's
happen,
what I'm
is what
saying.
I
It's
meant.
one part of the debate. The second part
Yeah.
of the debate, which Elon Musk runs, that totally unsafe, irrespective of how much you control this AI, it will run out of your hand. It will
Yeah, yeah.
overpower you.
Deviant behaviors will happen, sir. Matlab, it's a human, nature to be deviant.
It's not
Between.
deviant behavior. It's saying that it will overpower. That's what he says.
हाँ
You.
सर वो
I
मतलब
agree with Anand on
that is
this.
another way of looking at into it, because if
That's what I'm
somebody is
saying. Every
crazy for
point has a
money,
counterpoint,
yeah,
which we will
if you're
be,
crazy
which
for
will
money, obviously you will do something to ensure that the AI takes over a lot of things, which
right,
again is a possibility.
The
right.
intention matters, sir. So my son was giving me an anecdote of how human beings, whatever their age is, by nature, they're very negative and they tend to become violent towards each other after a certain time. And this experiment was done on a 5-year-old children in a kindergarten.
No, the
Okay. So
mouse episode is the real evidence of the same, where 4,000
So
mouse
it
was
doesn't
kept.
matter
Yeah,
कौन
there
सा
is a
technology
study.
human beings को देंगे. There will always be guys who will use it for bad.
ठीक
It's
है ना
up to
सर,
the good
सनातन
guys
धर्म
to
का वैसे
find
भी है ना
methods
सर,
of how
कलयुग
to
का
control
चरण है,
that.
तो कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा ना कि खत्म हो संसार, ऐसे
हाँ
थोड़ी
तो good
चलता
guys
रहेगा.
को ही
So
control
Namita
करना
is
पड़ेगा.
enjoying right now. She opened a complete new dimension, and the time is another 15 minutes gone like this. Yeah, you see, that's what the interesting part of this such kind of debates are. It has never been ending, and that's what the fun is. You know something new every time you go in a turn which you have not seen or I have not seen. And that's why such kind of debates are important. It is linked to sustainability, it is linked to our common behavior, it is linked to human behavior, and it is linked to all those scripture which we have seen in past. So thank you very much. Really, I appreciate it. And
Thank you
how
for
many
doing
of you
this, sir.
enjoyed it? How many of you
Thank you
enjoyed it?
for doing
This
this,
is
sir,
the first time I spoke
nothing
for
against,
and
sir.
against of something.
Including
Both.
Rama ma'am, no offense meant. Thank you so much that you played both parts. So really appreciate your rigor of the subject.
Oh, I
So
had
now we
fun,
can get lots of fund from Niti Ayog, inshallah.
And people around me were laughing at me. They were telling this is the first time I'm seeing somebody speak for and against in the same debate.
Yeah, how does it that matter as long as you are able to
I
put your
enjoyed
point
it.
correctly?
I think it was a very good debate. In fact, I came to know a lot of things which I was not aware of. I'm still
That's what.
contemplating on, this underwater, under sea data
Hmm.
centers will have impact on the biological,
Oh, huge.
water biology. I'm not too sure how it will impact,
Hey, there
but
is one
that's again another
sustainability
thing that we
report
have to look at.
on data centers that
Hmm.
Hitachi Vantara, I think, they have released one. Just read that. Okay, it's called
Okay, sure.
something Data Center Decarbonization for Dummies or something like that. Some name it
Mhm.
has. Read that.
Sure.
Very, very interesting if you're interested in
Yeah,
that
if you
AI
could
data
share it
center.
properly on the group, it will be good for all of us in case you have that
I'll
copy.
share that if I get it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Fair. Yeah, somebody wanted to speak as well. Others, go ahead. What's your observation now? So Namita always comes open the discussion and then she will be, gone behind the scene. Ganesh, how did you feel? Was it useful?
Excellent, sir. All the corners of the data center. So it
Has been touched
rightly
upon.
I catch. Yeah, yeah. Because I was actually I was focusing on data center design issues, no. But now I could understand there are many factors actually. Yeah, it's not only a technical, but there are many things. Yeah.
That's
Sir, I
my
have
role.
one thought process here. Uh, Connecting Rama ma'am's line and Mr. Ganesh sir impact statement. One on the e-disposal. In ancient days, there were practice of using biological enzymes to make goals. So the essence from the plant is being used to treat alloys. Then these alloys being used for medicine. Probably, if someone Vedic science or as Rama ma'am said, somebody comes down again with some of these dots. I presume that a lot of e-waste can be easily digested with a harmless way because most of the alloys were toxic and it is being used as a medicine in human bodies. So
Yes, alchemy, bioalchemy, yeah.
yeah, so when you reverse all these, connect these dots, we can answer Rama ma'am as well as Ganesh
मी
sir.
फक्त इथून लॅपटॉप इथे घेऊन येतो तो बसत नव्हतो. आता तुझे तणतण केली आहे ना त्याच्यामुळे मी बसणार आहे आता.
Even we need
सध्याच्या मला नाही खेळायचं.
Yeah, yeah.
to make sure our kids are well in place. We
Hmm.
need the biophilic design. We need bio
Yeah, but there's a
alchemy.
company that has come up with something that eats plastic, bacteria that eats
Yes,
plastic
yes,
in 3 years
it's
or
a big
something.
development.
Yeah.
Somebody yesterday has
Interesting.
come up with jackfruit and replacement to plastic. Jackfruit and I think jamun. Both of them has been used for replacing the plastic, and it self-destruct in 30 days instead of 500 years.
But this bacteria existing plastic को खा सकता है
हाँ
3 महीने
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
में
वो
या
भी एक
3 साल में या
डेवलपमेंट है
कुछ ऐसे.
वो भी एक डेवलपमेंट है बट यही है कि रिसर्च को फिर प्रमोट भी करना चाहिए क्योंकि फिर लॉबी आ जाती है लॉबी आके उसको कटेल करती है दे पुट इट डाउन सो दो चैलेंजेस आल्सो वी फेस एज ए डेवलपिंग नेशन सो केवल इनोवेशन से नहीं होगा उसको एक विल पावर चाहिए behind it to push such kind of stuff and that will come from such kind of debates only okay where people will be in getting influenced and getting inspired. Thank you very much, everyone. We can keep doing it. I know that such kind of events are always interesting. So congratulations to all of you. You
Thank you.
have
Thank
put
you.
through the points very well, and everybody has learned here, including Tejas, who was trying to make his kid in line with the discussions. So take care. Bye bye. I know it is their time now. So
Yes,
take
yes.
care of them as well. Bye bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so
Thank
much
Thank
you.
for
you.
this
Thank
Thank
you,
lovely
you.
debate.
everybody. Thank
And
you, everybody.
no offense meant to anyone. I hope I have not